Well, hey everybody, welcome to Adobe Office Hours. My name is Andrew Hochradel. I am not Wes Anderson.
And I am Nick Longo, not Tyler the Creator.
That's right. And welcome to the 1 o'clock Thursday afternoon session of Adobe Max on Adobe Live. That's right. Yeah, let's get it. Yeah, we are
we're gonna take you home is what we're gonna do.
It's true. Country Road. We're your Country Road.
We're the John Denvers of
That's it. We're here for you. Let us know where you're watching from. There's a lot of you here, so we'd love to see where you are in the world. Our friend Leon Ingram is here. Hi, Leon. What's up? Today, our show from 1 to 1:25 is going to be a little bit of an overview of what Adobe Office Hours is. We're going to give you a little bit of tips and tricks as we do, but we're also going to give you an overview. And Nick, let's start out. For those people who are just tuning in that are like, what's this all about? What's Adobe Office Hours?
What's it all about? We are an online course, basically. We started it back in March, and we've been doing it once a week. A few months ago, we started our Office Hours fall semester, and it's basically a once a week class. We have topics, we have discussions, we have homework. We talk to each other via Discord. It's a fantastic new alternative. Anything beyond what you do for work or school, you name it, that's why we're here.
Yep, and Narek, there is a lack of bow ties today. Here's the deal, buddy.
I know, dude.
Thursday, 1 o'clock.
Thursday, 1 o'clock.
2020. That's the year, in case you forgot.
You're lucky you got this.
It's true. So today we are going to go over how you can get involved in Adobe Office Hours fall semester, and a little bit of advice. We saw yesterday during our session, we were doing portfolio reviews, telling you a little bit about portfolios and how to work through them. And I saw some common comments happening in the chat, and so we want to talk about those and address a little bit of perspective going into our next session. So we do have a session coming up at 1:30 that will be building a great portfolio with our friend Nick Longo. I'll be there too. But we're going to be hanging out. And Nick, what are we doing during that session today?
We're going to have a few we're going to do the portfolio reviews. It's Thursday. Welcome back. We have some really good ones too. I can't wait to show everybody some of the portfolio reviews we're going to be showing you later in about 30 minutes.
Yep. And someone said, Andrew, if you are really live, you should say my name, Jordan. Here we go. Hello, Jordan. Welcome to Adobe Office Hours on Adobe Live.
We did not pre-record this 20 days ago.
Here's the thing. If you guys have seen this show, you know very well that it is very live. So let's go ahead and jump into some places that people can get involved. Nick, the first place that we want people to go to get their assignments, where can they go?
That is our Discord channel.
There is a link floating.
Where you're pointing, somewhere around there.
Yes, our Discord channel is right there. So our Discord is right here, Fall Semester AL. One of our mods can drop the link in there as well. And hello, so many fun people are here. So you can get involved at this Discord, and what's in the Discord is a whole bunch of great resources. It's really the place to get connected. So let me flop over here, and over here is the place that you can get connected. And it's not just for Adobe Office Hours. This is our Adobe Career Center. And so the place that you want to navigate to for this show is to go down over here to Office Hours and click on that fall semester. Nick, what else can people post in there? What other channels do we have?
Post your homework. You can post. We look at it to see all that kind of stuff. And then that's what we use if we have any kind of special free things that we're gonna, like give away to some of our listeners or some of the folks that are tuning in. So it is the hub of everything we've got as far as communicating with you guys back and forth.
That's true. So it is a full semester class. We give you assignments and lectures each week for you to get involved and level up your career advancement. We've got a couple homework projects in here, and who knows, if you go to the fall semester tab and scroll up a little bit, we may have dropped some little special nuggets yesterday, some bonus things, and I don't know, just a nice little font pack if you want to go check that out. So go sign up for our fall semester right here on the Discord. Now, the next thing that you can do is you can get involved by going down here to this link. Oh, sorry, Nick, I'm encroaching on your space a little. This link over here. And that link is going to take you to our Discord. Sorry, that's going to take you to our resources. So in the class, Nick, every week, what do we have for our friends?
So we've got a little bit of some lecture notes. We have homework. We do a ton of great stuff. Basically all regarding the typical program or the topic we're talking about that day.
Yep. Yeah. So you can get that link, again, right below me right here, bit.ly/Adobe Office Hours, all lowercase right there. You can check that out. And in that folder, it's going to have every single week that we've covered. If you click into here, sometimes we have some bonus surprises. Again, I'm throwing free fonts to you left and right. Yes, it's bribery. But you can also come in here and you can check out the PDFs from our past lectures. You can go back and watch them on YouTube. You can check out all the stuff that you need and that you might need to know to catch up for Adobe Office Hours. Also, if you'd like to invite your friends or you want to post about what you're learning on social media, there are some promo assets in here. So you can grab some promo assets, make your own, use the things that we've provided, and you can tell your friends or just tell us what you've learned. Make sure that you tag us and make sure that you hashtag Adobe Office Hours. And Nick, let's talk a little bit about what's coming up on the show. Now, we said that this is a class, and the class has been doing things. So let's go ahead and take a look at our syllabus. And I'm going to read off some things. If you guys have missed these, you can go back and watch them on YouTube. But Nick, I'm going to toss out some topics and give me your thoughts on things, maybe top points that we talked about those weeks.
Go for it.
All right, so first week we had the first day of school. We just talked about what the class was, but then we moved on to onboarding, and this was talking about bringing clients onto a project and learning to collaborate them. What was a big takeaway for you on that one?
I think we talked a little bit about having that welcome mat set for you as a business, as a designer, even as a potential candidate for a job. So what that meant like having everything, all your ducks in a row, all your social media, your website, all lined up so it has that first impression right before you do anything regarding any kind of onboarding.
Absolutely. Yeah, my biggest takeaway from that one was to make it feel like you are a team with the client and that you are not working for the client and they're not working for you, that it very much is bringing them on to say, hey, we're a team here and we're going to work together.
Yeah.
So next up, we talked about copywriting. This was a really good one. A lot of people had questions yesterday during our session about what is copywriting? How do you have good copywriting? What was your big takeaway from that one?
Either helps get someone that can help you. If you don't feel too comfortable in writing your own copy, that's always a great thing. And you could do some design work for them as a nice exchange or barter. Also too, I always love recording myself doing my vocal before writing anything. I find I say things maybe a little bit better than I would if I was to go right to the keyboard.
Yes, absolutely. And on that one, copywriting for me is the tone. It's setting the scene for what my mind needs to see, right? So we're using words, we're using these symbols to set the tone for what my mind is going to see, and it preps that conversation that happens when we're looking through a case study or portfolio. Next up, we looked at Adobe XD, which I know there are a lot of new features for that they just premiered at Max. What was your big takeaway from XD? I think it was both of our first time, early times. We're both kind of learning it as we went. And what were the takeaways of the cool stuff we discovered there?
I'd have to say it's just not as intimidating. And not that I ever thought it was intimidating, but I've been holding off and really diving deep into it and figuring it out. But I think it just shows how flexible, how familiar it is. And then all the applications I could use it for. I do not do any UI UX. So for me, I can use it for presentations. I can use it for a little bit of animation. Definitely a really good tool to add to the Creative Cloud.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Elizabeth Mock, have we been live this entire week? Yeah, we have. We had a session on Monday, we had a session on Wednesday, we had a session on today. We have two sessions today, actually. We have
Yeah.
one right after this as well, and then we have another episode coming up on Friday at 1 p.m. if you guys want to stick around and
We're
check
not
that
going
out.
anywhere.
We're not going anywhere. So after that, again, we like to switch up the format of the show, try new things. So the week after that, we did a design sprint. If you want to go back and watch that, it was super fun. We tried some new techniques
Yeah.
for creating. And then we talked about semiotics, and that is one of my favorite things. If you want to go back and watch that one, we talked about how icons, indexes, and symbols shape the way that we see the world. And Nick, that was a new kind of thing for you. What was your takeaway from that?
There's meaning in everything, really,
Yes.
and you can really look at these icons and see where their origins are from. And there's a reason why they work. There's a reason why people gravitate to them in a universal language.
Yes. And
Yeah.
Jacqueline says that she's literally standing in Costco watching this. And there's no wrong place to learn.
Yes.
Yes. Get some samples, learn some stuff.
Can you pick me up some Sour Patch Kids, please?
Yeah, treat yourself. And moving on from there, we just covered, and we're actually going to talk about it more today because it happens to all of us, confidence and imposter syndrome. That was something we talked a lot about yesterday as well. What was your emotional connection at the end of that?
What teared me up a little bit? I think the overwhelming response we got in chat of everybody feeling this, it's one of those things. Maybe we're just starting to hear it a little bit more. We realize it's a little more elevated now through these last few months. But I think it was really refreshing to see so many people go, "Wow, really? You too, everybody? We all have it."
Yep, exactly. And my big takeaway was that the perception is the reality. And sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes that's a bad thing. Right? We talked about how you guys see us on the screen, we're smiley and doing whatever, but you don't know what's happening. So behind the scenes. So, you look at someone's portfolio and you're like, oh my gosh, they have such amazing stuff. They're always doing these cool things. Their lives must be totally amazing. When in reality, I was literally puking my guts out 10 minutes before the show started. And we come on and we're smiling, we're live, and that's how you got to do it. You just present, and you never know what's going on. So don't compare yourself to other people, because everybody's complex, everybody's individual, and that's just the way it works.
Totally.
So, and again, if you have questions, go ahead and drop those in chat.
We're checking it out.
Yeah, we're checking it out. This stream is very much an overview, kind of the chill stream, and we're going to get to some hardcore portfolio critiques next on the Building a Great Portfolio session. So let's keep going through here, and we have, I think, one more, and that was internships and resumes. We talked about that last week. Thoughts on that?
Oh, another one, right? I think it's the most widespread thing. I didn't think there'd be that many questions, and the questions were just fired up. It seems like everybody just wants to know the one answer, the one way to do it, and there is none. It's just a matter of you putting your personal touch on the principles and the layout and the design aesthetics that have to be there first, then what you do to make it your own.
Yep. And I think the great thing, the takeaway that I had from that one and the imposter syndrome one is we kind of ended on the same point on all of those, of this idea of you'll never be good enough.
Exactly,
that's
right?
the takeaway. There's no answer, there's
Live
no
with
solution. You'll never be good enough. You just have to keep trying and keep pushing yourself and focus on that. So let's go ahead and actually let's hop in to a couple of the points that I want to talk about today. We got about 10 to 12 minutes. So we're going to give you a condensed version of what office hours looks like. Every week we hop over and have some little bit of discussion, a little bit of a lesson for you. And then from there, we always go back and look at some things that you can apply to your process. So I want to address some of the things yesterday. Nick, what were you seeing in chat yesterday?
Ooh, in our office hours.
Yes, as we were kind of going through portfolios.
Community. I thought that was the number one thing. I saw so many good people who have met each other through this, sharing each other's opinions and ideas and suggestions so well. That was what I saw the most. What about you?
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about that community, hopefully you are part of that community and you're building that community, and part of that community that happens and ends up creeping into there is this idea of comparison, right? We've talked about confidence, we've talked about imposter syndrome, but I think that we kind of missed talking about comparison a bit, and yesterday I saw so much of that happening in chat. And I think this week at Max, it's kind of going to be a thing that happens, right?
Yeah.
Nick, have you seen any sessions that you're like, oh my gosh, I
Oh,
will never be as good as
everything.
that? Or yep,
Every single
everything.
thing. And to be honest with you, I think I'm getting a little relief because it's virtual as opposed to the real deal. When I leave Max the 3 days, one, you're fully engaged and just so super excited. But next thing you know, you're like, I'm not doing anything creative.
Yep.
What I just saw was nuts.
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe it was
Yeah.
Kelly Anderson posted some stuff last night, and I was like, I think I'm done with the design.
I
I
think
think
it's
it's
over.
over. That's so much better than anything I could do, and
Yes.
that's super not good for us or for anybody. And I actually saw it happening in chat a little bit yesterday, and so I wanted to talk about
Hmm.
some things that we can do to combat that. Right, as we move into this session, looking at some portfolios, and then especially to the next session, looking at some portfolios, really digging in for you to have some good takeaways.
Ostracism.
Yeah, I know. We are going to try to break this idea that I saw in chat yesterday of people saying, oh, my portfolio is so bad. This one's so amazing.
Exactly.
I'm not going to be able to do that. And then even going past that to a point where people were kind of thinking that they're doing things wrong, right? That we
Yes.
give them advice and they'd be like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this wrong for so long. I need to change or whatever. And that's where we want to start our first point. And that's the idea of this, that there's a big difference between wrong and different.
Hmm.
We think that we're doing things wrong. So Nick and I give you a lot of advice. We look at portfolios, we tell you, you can do this, you should do this, you should do this. And a lot of people have been taking that, especially in chat, or even if you're looking at a session and someone is doing something a different way, and you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I've been doing this wrong my entire career. Here's the thing, it's not wrong, it's just
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you do in your process, Nick, that you know is weird and wonky that
Oh,
people, if they watch you, be like,
yeah.
that's so wrong? What
I
do you
would
do?
say it's steps that you do in the application itself, getting from point A to B in something. There's always 5 ways. There's probably 2 that are better than mine. I probably landed around that 3 zone. So yeah, every time. And
Yep.
then, but I think doing things like this and being live, and now that even anyone can stream, I think that might be a really good icebreaker for a lot of young designers as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And again, Behance streaming is open to everybody now. So
Yeah.
you can stream straight, especially from Illustrator on iPad, super easy. You can stream right in there,
Yeah.
and you're gonna get people that are gonna say, "Oh, you're doing this wrong. You need to try this." It's not wrong. It's different. And the thing that
Yeah.
we talk about is that as creatives, our value is in our perspective and the way that we see the world. And so your perspective, a new perspective, yields new results. And even though you're doing something that's different than the way that somebody else would do it, you might have a new result that nobody else could have gotten. So
Yeah.
you're not doing it wrong, you're just doing it different. The next thing that I want to talk about, and this was comparison, is comparison will compromise. What I mean by that is if you keep comparing yourself to other people, you will never reach the goals that you want to work toward because you're working toward their goals, right?
Yeah.
That it's impossible to know, 1, what their goals are, 2, how they got there, and 3, it's impossible for you to put that same goal on yourself because you're not them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you like get crippled by comparison ever, Nick? And you're just like,
Still.
well, yep,
Oh yeah. And I think the cool thing about maybe the last few weeks of being extra busy again have relieved that. And I think it's sometimes maybe your downtime is when that can happen.
yes,
So I think there were 2 or 3 really good ones yesterday that got me into thinking like doing those things outside of the box, outside of your comfort zone, doing things differently when you have downtime to refresh your creative juices. It gets you away from the comparison. It's actually really refreshing.
yep.
You know?
And let's do this. Anyone in chat, if you compare yourself to someone and you like get super down that you're like, oh my gosh, I'll never be XYZ, just put that in chat. Put who you compare yourself to in chat. And I'm just curious to see all of the names that come up in chat. And we can be like, oh my gosh, we all do this. So it'll be fun to see that happening in chat. And someone asked a question here. Do you guys have examples from your own lives where this has happened? Oh, so many times. I have 100% tried to make my work someone else's work, and then it's ended up being so terrible, Or so here's a personal example. So I got hired to do a project with Red Bull for Lindsey Vonn, and I was looking at all the other people that were on the project, and I was like, they are all so much better than me. I literally stayed up like all night trying to like push myself to do something that's like, ooh, this is gonna be like the highest level of all these other people that are doing it. And then I ended up having to like completely start from scratch and just redo it in the way that I would have done it. And so it ended up being a great project, but it took so long to get there because I was trying to make something for someone else.
Yeah. And I think you're right. Just going back to the being different, not better or worse, is the way to look at it every time. Every time. I love that.
So here's your goal and your charge, chat. Focus on your continued progress, not their final product, right? You can't just look at where they've landed and say that you want to get there. Just focus on making little steps to make your portfolio a little bit better. And my roommate actually tells me this, and I think it's the greatest thing to keep in mind. Make yourself proud of yourself. And that's all that counts. You are the critic that you need to please. So when you're working on your portfolio, when you're working on a project, just make yourself proud of yourself, and it'll kind of work itself out. And so we have about 5 minutes left. So Nick, chat, if you want to keep asking questions, you can do that. Let's look at one project, and we talk about case studies in this show. Nick, what is a case study?
Case study is a chapter in your creativity, and you're going to give us the beginning, middle, and end to tell us how you got to that final ending.
Yep, and so let's take a look at one case study, and if you stick around, so in about literally 10 minutes, we'll be going live with our portfolio critique session. We'll be looking at a bunch of portfolios and showing you how you can apply those principles to your portfolios. Let's look at an idea of what a case study is. Nick, do you want to pick one from the ones you sent me?
Yeah, I'd love to show the resource one if you want to grab that one.
All right, let's go ahead and pop that up, and that is, got it right here.
There we go.
All right, so we're looking here, and this is a rebrand of Payless Shoe Source. You want to tell us a little bit about this and why you think it makes a good case study?
I will tell you that. So this is from a student of mine named Andreas Palos. I believe he's in chat. This was the task of taking a brand that was in trouble and rebranding them, giving them something refreshing and new. And you can see as he went through, he actually calls it Resource, and it's inspiring people to come and recycle their old clothing. Plus, they would make new shoes out of a lot of those materials. And I think it just speaks for itself. When you go through here, you've got the objective, you've got the question and solution. It gets into the rebrand. Love the color ideas, love the whole vibe. It really has a meaning behind the design. And I think that might be one of the things that we really are trying to push as much as possible here. Gets into some really great stuff of how it could be used, even at the storefront, what it might look like on the inside. And again, it's not just logo slapping like we've talked about in the past. You know, there's other cool stuff happening here. So a really great example. Love, love, love this.
It really is. And showing it in different applications, again, we've talked about it a bunch of times. Great case studies show things in context. It takes it into my world so that it isn't just living on a screen. It is something that I feel like I can experience, that I can interact with, and that I can be a part of. So this is a great case study. And let's flip over to the Home Depot, I believe, rebrand.
Oh, yeah.
This is a fantastic project. One, the work is really good, and then I love the way that it's presented. What are some of the highlights for looking at this case study for you,
Is this
Nick?
the Upstart one? Is that the one you're on? Yes. This is from Rendell. Hey, there he is. He's in there.
What's up, Rendell?
This was the idea, again, to take a brand like Office Depot, uplift them, give them something to actually aspire to and save the company as they were having some issues, Amazon taking over in so many ways. So he turned it into not only just a Office Depot, but a place that you can have a community workspace in as well. Why not combine the both? And he got it through into a great thing, actually renamed it to Upstart, and has the entire color package, everything else here, even the really nice finding found imagery and replacing it and redesigning the exterior and the interior. Again, just another good slam dunk.
Exactly. And again, the case studies are all about telling a story. So none of these images here, right, are like, ooh, I've designed a new office, whatever, like here's the structures and the wood goes together. It's about setting the aesthetic and say, hey, if I'm reimagining this, the brand is so much more than just me slapping the logo on things. Here's the story of where we're going, where we're creating things, and where we're going to take this brand, and even a physical. And I love that you've shown, again, we want to see process. So I love seeing the digital sketches. And And I always talk about we have to see how bad you are before we can see how good you are. And looking through this, there are some that you're like, that doesn't fit at all. But then you can see the process start to go and start to develop and be like, oh, okay, all right, we finally landed somewhere that does feel like Office Depot.
Yep, totally. So super applicable, great applications that go with the brand. It all makes sense. And I think these are the things that we continue to aspire and add up to make sure that we're doing something really, really successful.
Yep. And I believe we have a little animation here as well. And do you know how he made this animation? I think this is interesting.
He made it on XD.
That's right. So you can do great animations like this in XD super easily, very quickly. And it takes this case study to the next level, right? Not only am I seeing this great logo, I'm seeing it in context, seeing it moving, seeing it interacting with itself. And digital sketches are good. Yes, digital sketches are totally fine.
Why not?
Love to see some pen and paper, but if you have digital sketches, take a shot of that the crazy artboard and just make that work. So I love that you've done merch here. This is a great case study that is completely built out to exactly what I want to see. I could see a little bit more copy and a little bit more copywriting, but other than that, it's fantastic.
Perfect. Loved it. Yeah.
Love it.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
All right, Nick, it is 1:25, and we have another session in 5 minutes. We need to get all the way up to San Francisco.
So we got another stream to do.
Yeah, you guys stay around right here, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. We're going to go run to San Francisco, and we'll see you there. Bye.
Bye-bye.